Hello, welcome back to War Thunder and welcome back to the first impressions on the Brigand B1. Now the Brigand B1 is a battle rating 4.7 rank 4 British light bomber, and it is in fact in a branch of the British tech tree that features practically every available designation for anything with two engines. In this branch we have interceptors, air defense fighters, light bombers, of course, with the Brigand, strike fighters, torpedo bombers, heavy fighters, frontline fighters. Yeah, so, but what about the Brigand itself? Well, let's say it's kind of like a British R2Y2, kind of. Why is that? Well, the plane is not spectacular, but it's also not useless. It does have a decent firepower for something that carries the designation bomber. It has a mediocre bomb load, at least first, but on the other hand, it gets an air spawn with 3,500 meters altitude. And also you face from time to time the Americans, which is fun. So I'm sitting on this tail of this P61, and extreme long range shooting is a thing. And that was kind of surprising. Why? Well, the guns are highly inaccurate when they are stock. They are Hispano Mark 5s, as you still can see, and you have 800 rounds of them, which is a decent amount of ammunition, but you can run through it rather fast. Now, as far as I remember it, the guns tend to not to overheat that fast, at least for the stock ones. Also, as a light bomber, the Brigand is equipped with dive brakes or air brakes, but they are not that effective. You can see it right here. Now, I tried to dive on this B-25, which I actually set on fire previously with my first diving attack. And yeah, you can see that the plane is redlining. I have to abandon the dive attack, which is a shame because that dive attack was pretty nice, at least at first. And now I try to get my guns onto the target in any way, shape, or form. I apply full throttle again, and yeah, I was actually a bit of afraid that the kill gets taken away from me. And as a light bomber, I have to say that air kills are so much more rewarding than even a lot of ground kills. And with the stock guns or with the 20mm guns on in general, you can't kill something like pillboxes or medium tanks. Well, technically you can, but it takes a lot of ammunition. So, yeah. And, again, you can do a lot of stuff. You can intercept bombers, which, saves the normal fighters, so to speak. The Brigand can, by the way, take a hefty amount of damage. Especially the wings, they seem to not fall off that easy. Also, you don't get set on fire that easy. I got killed once, but it was an engine fire, so yeah. Overall, I like the plane, but I think it's down because it is simply a twin-engined thing with 420mm that gets a high altitude spawn, or at least 3,500. You then can climb, even with your mediocre climb rate, up to 5,000 meters and practically intercept anything that flies at this altitude or below. Also, as you can see, the maneuverability is not the best in the game. Especially when you have to roll, because the roll rate together with the rudder, they are not very good. But I think for a light bomber, if you go for strict designations, it's good enough. Now, also the lifetime and the overheating of the engines seems to be rather good, but not overwhelming compared to other planes. I don't know if Gaijin has changed anything drastic so far with other planes, but those engines feel okay. They feel okay. From the damage they can take, the amount of fires they get set on, and so on. It feels okay. Now I highly recommend you to get the stealth belts, and with stealth belts, sorry about that, I don't mean the air targets ammunition, which is also practically stealth, but the one with the one armor piercing shell. So at this point I want to show you the landing process. I deployed not just landing flaps but also the dive brakes or air brakes, and yeah, the landing gear takes a while to deploy, so yeah. Also, you can technically land this aircraft on the engines. I did it once, I got destroyed. I did a carrier landing with it, and this landing is just perfect. No shingles landing for you guys, sorry about that. Overall, I think because the upgrades are not that expensive, research point wise, the plane gets an air spawn. You can go into head-ons. You can see that the guns are mounted below the fuselage. It's not the worst plane that I've ever flown, but it's not a special one. The possibilities for ground striking are a bit limited. To be honest, for ground striking, 50 cals with a hefty amount of ammunition would be better, as you don't want to waste your precious 20mm again. So also you can see this is like 10 minutes later. I climbed to altitude. I looked for the last two enemy players. While you can go to altitude over time, you're not a P-61, P-38 or something heavy, true heavy fighter thing wise. But overall the plane is okay. It's not so bad like the P1Y1 from the Japanese. And that's basically it. That's everything that I can tell you about this plane. I had a good chat here with a few of the British pilots. They wanted to know how this plane performs, so if by any chance any of them is watching this video, this is how the plane performs. I think up until this point it's a worthy ending for this one branch of the British heavy fighter twin-engined bomber or light bomber line. And in a moment we can see that I'm really bad at head-ons these days, and that the plane can take a fair amount of damage. I've taken far more damage in other games, but I think many planes would just have fallen apart by the attack of the P-61. I'm not sure which belt he used, but he was definitely using for 20mm, and I survived a lot of hits. So yeah, and I'm still good at flying. And yeah, then I tried to go after this B-25, but the battle ended before I could reach him. I just let this battle run out for you, that you can see finally the acceleration in a dive. It's not the very best, but the pure fact that you can go to those speeds is not too bad. So let's have a quick look at the post-battle result screens. So for 2 aircraft kills and 9 ground units, all of them were light, I got 44,000 silver lines and 3,500 research points and a new decal. So quite nice, but the battle was like 20-25 minutes. Yeah, that's the Brigand 1 for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please give this video a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this aircraft and if you're looking forward to it. And see you in the skies of War Thunder.